Man like Mark Sullivan, the Warrior Cell. Stay tuned for the thrilling episode. Woo!
A positive mental attitude can clear away all obstacles which stand between you and your major purpose in life.
This is the Snowboard Project featuring Mark Sullivan and the Bead. The Snowboard Project. The Snowboard Project. The Snowboard Project.
Welcome back to the Snowboard Project. I'm Mark Sullivan.
And I am the Beav, and we're back in Sun Valley, hanging out at the Hot Water Inn.
That's right. And it's a holiday season.
It's the holidays.
Yeah, next week is Christmas.
Hey, it's cool. It's cool to see you back here, Mark. You've been on the road for a couple weeks.
Yeah, I have. And I went to the Grand Prix, went to the Dew Tour, now back home for the holidays.
All right. Well, you were out at the Dew Tour. You recorded our 52nd episode. Tell me who you who is number 52.
Okay, number 52 is gonna be Dylan Alito, and Dylan Alito is a pro rider for Volcom, for 32, and also for Never Summer. Actually has a pro model snowboard on Never Summer called the Peacemaker. Also has some pro model boots on 32, but also a really interesting character in the sport of snowboarding. So I had a good time talking to Dylan.
Is interesting kind of an understatement? I mean, given that we did call him up once and he had an interesting side bet.
Yes, a character, let's just say. He's a character in the sport of snowboarding, and a good guy too.
I will say he chugged a beer through an orifice.
Yes,
we're not going to say what.
He talks about that in this interview.
It's not his mouth, really.
Let's just say there's some adult listening material in this interview, and so maybe not for kids of all ages. Maybe kids over, say, 18 or 21.
Right. If you're heading to the hill with your snowboard team, maybe not the one to listen to.
Right, right.
Well, I'm excited to hear your interview with Dylan. Should we just jump into it?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, episode 52.
Dylan Alito. Right, today I am joined by the future legend Dylan Alito, and Dylan is a pretty interesting character, a pro rider for Never Summer with a pro model, I believe now, it's called
the Peacemaker.
The Peacemaker, okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's cool.
And it's got the old Western theme on it.
Yeah, and then you ride for Volcom and for 32 as well?
Yep.
Cool. Any other sponsors that I don't know about?
Drop.
Okay.
Drop gloves.
Nice.
A lot of people should maybe know about that. They, I think they only sell their gloves online these days, so that they can give higher quality product for half price.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
but you don't pay for them.
No.
Okay. So you got a pro model board. Any other pro models? Any other signature products in the works?
Yeah, I have pro model boots as well.
Okay.
I've had about 4 of those.
Cool.
And
what makes your boots special? Why should I even care that you have boots?
I don't think you should.
Okay.
What makes my boots special actually is I think I'm one of the few riders who actually does what I want to do with my pro model. A lot of the others are just they do what's going to sell.
Right.
And for me, it's never been about money, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
So I do what the fuck I want to do because I have this opportunity and I'm going to do it.
Right.
The first one I did, we did a Coors boot and, sold well in Colorado, but, East Coast, they didn't give a fuck about it.
Yeah.
And right now, the new one we did is a weed boot, so it's pretty funny.
Okay, so you're covering all your bases.
Just covering all the bases.
What's next, Viagra? The Viagra boot?
No, I don't have a problem with that yet.
Well, you don't need to have a problem to enjoy it. Just saying, good recreational drug.
Cool. I'll try it.
All right. So would you like a Coors? Should I interest you in a Coors right now?
I'm good. I'm still hungover from last night.
Oh, yeah.
So drive.
Right. So where do you live right now?
I live in Lakewood.
Okay, so you're down kind of towards the city.
Yeah, it's down in the city. And, when I meet girls out at the bar, I tell them, hey, I got a lake house in the woods. Oh, and they show up. They're like, "There's no lake nor woods."
Yeah, but you're like, "Well, look at the address,
Lakewood."
Yeah, right on. So, how long have you lived down there? Because you used to live here in Breck, right?
Yeah, I did, and I moved down to Lakewood probably about 5 years ago. Truly, Breckenridge. Why I hated it here was because it's a pretty small town and a lot of drama. So I'd be 25 and hearing rumors spread about me, like fucking high school shit. And I don't need to come back from trips and hear all these rumors and just come back and snowboard talk and I'm snowboarding, I kind of needed to.
Was it jealousy that people are like spreading these rumors because you're hooked up, have pro models and stuff like that? Or what is it?
Yeah, I honestly think it is. Because I dropped out of school when I was 16, moved up here.
Okay.
And I think a lot of people move up here to become pro.
Right.
So when it's not happening for them, they get jealous. And to see this little 16-year-old shitbag who's getting drunk every night, and, I obviously made a lot of bad choices coming up here. And, being 16 and, not having like parental advice and all that shit.
So you're here without your parents, just by yourself.
Yeah, and you make a fool out of yourself. And people really hold it against you.
Okay. So is there like an example you can give me, you making a fool of yourself, where people were like trying to be like, oh, that guy just sucks or whatever?
No, but I remember the last where I had it. The last straw was I brought this chick home from the bar and she's, get her in my room or whatever. And she keeps texting this guy and she goes, oh, it's my really good friend. He's having a hard time right now. He says he wants to like kill himself. And I go, well, he sounds like a fucking pussy. You should tell him to do it. And she's like, no, he wants to like come pick me up. He needs to talk or whatever. Ends up being that guy was her boyfriend.
Ooh.
And so she tells her boyfriend that I brought her home and got all creepy on her. And then the rumor extended into I fucking like raped this girl.
What?
Yeah, it was insane. And I'm still friends with the girl. I don't know why I'm friends with such a horrible person who would. But it wasn't. She never said that I did that. But I think it was just like word of a word of word. Yes, exactly.
Right. Okay. And so then after that, you're like, this is just too much. I'm getting out of here.
Yeah, I didn't need any of that shit.
And how long ago was that?
About 5 years ago.
5 years ago. So now you've been living in the city.
Yep.
But you have to ride pretty much up here. I know that you do a lot of street riding. Is there street riding down in Lakewood? I haven't spent a lot of time there.
Yeah, there actually is.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of good spots. And then when my friends come out, I'll put them up and show them around. And I've hit spots like a mile away from my house or less.
Really? So how often do you have like enough snow there to do it?
That's what sucks is the snow in Denver, it melts really quick when we do get it.
Yeah.
Especially the last few years. So it's rare to find myself like there when I need to be there, I always feel like I'll be going out of town and it'll snow the night before.
Right.
Fuck, I have all these spots I want to hit here.
Yeah, you drive by them every day. And you're like, right there when it snows, right there.
Been thinking about it for 4 years and we get 3 feet of snow and I'm gone.
Right.
So.
Okay, so let's touch on really quick, like dropping out of school. And was that a good decision in hindsight or a bad decision? Because now you have enough perspective on it where you're like, okay, I definitely acted like a 16-year-old when I was 16. I didn't really have any restrictions or regulations that a typical 16-year-old would have. Do you think that was like a good move in hindsight?
No, never. I think everyone needs to finish school.
Did you become a pro at 16? Like, were you automatically like in those ranks of sponsored pro riders or whatever?
No, I think I've got paid at 19.
Okay.
So I truly should have finished school. I think it's something that a lot of younger kids, you get really antsy and you're like, I have to seize the moment now.
Right.
But truly the funny thing is I could have finished school by 18 and still probably, honed in more on my skills and then still probably became pro at like 19 or 20.
Right.
And I think a lot of kids don't do that. And then you end up missing out on, a lot. Yeah, I had a lot of good life experiences. I've had so many crazy life experiences that nobody else is going to have.
Sure.
But yeah, I missed out on, some basic high school shit.
Yeah. So like you said you turned pro. Okay. First of all, with high school, what do you think you missed out on, like by missing those last like 2 years of school?
Just hitting on girls and hanging out with friends and stuff. I don't know, stuff like that. Not like I was doing anything crazy, sitting around smoking weed in basements, but you know.
But that's pretty much what kids do, right? Something like that.
Exactly, you know?
And probably didn't cut into your riding time too much because I skipped school anyway when the snow was good.
Yeah. And we had Echo Mountain up in Evergreen. Yeah. So that had night riding, and we'd go basically every day after school.
Right.
Yeah. My mom would tell me not to, but she fucking worked nights. So she worked from 3 p.m. till 3 a.m. So I basically... even though I dropped out when I was 16, I basically had no parental supervision from the time I was like 12.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because at night she was gone, basically. After you got home, from the time you got home to school to the time you went to bed.
Exactly.
You were basically fixing your dinner, figuring out doing or not doing your homework.
Yes.
And just dealing with everything for yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. Was that pretty difficult, or do you think that like allowed you to kind of grow up more quickly and gave you the confidence to move out at a younger age?
Yeah, I think it made me grow up more quickly in some aspects, but then in the other aspects, you know, when I dropped out when I was 16, moving up here,
right,
I'm still acting like a 12-year-old in some senses, you know, getting wasted, breaking shit, fucking, yeah. Right. I had quite the reputation.
So what were some of those like experiences you had up here at 16 where you're by yourself and you're, you know, trying to figure out basically how to grow up to be a man?
Yeah. You know, first step was get a job. Worked at Taco Bell. Ooh. I was also a janitor up at Breckenridge for a while. And that was cool because you ride till 4, you get off work and go straight to work. You know, I'd just take my boots off and clean in my fucking socks, you know, and snowboard gear. And then you have the whole mountain houses to yourself, so you're just stealing liquor, making food. That was really fun. And then so my buddy, no names named here, but he worked at Loaf and Jug, and so we would hang out in Loaf and Jug for hours every day. Really? Just sitting there, you know, drinking sodas, 3-2 beer, fucking taking food. And so when he started working there, their stolen goods went from $700 a month to like $5,000.
Right.
So we were basically living for free, just eating fucking Hot Pockets and those shitty big ass subs and all that stuff.
It's funny. I lived in Breck, actually. Like, you were probably not even born yet. I don't know. But like, anyhow, like we called it bro systems, where like basically people took care of each other. And so like we had this guy at the grocery store, City Market, who would like scan every third item that you were buying, you know, or whatever. And then like I would give a dude a pizza. He'd give me subs, you know, we just kind of like barter basically to survive, because making... At that time, it was probably like $7 an hour or something. It wasn't enough to even live, and so you have to figure out how to make it work for yourself.
Yeah, and housing up here is definitely not cheap.
No. So how did you end up getting sponsored at 19? Like, what were the things that led to that?
I had already rode for Volcom 32, and I did ride for Never Summer previously, and then Volcom started making snowboards and wanted me to do that, and offered to pay. But basically, this rep, Randy Walker from Colorado, he there was a contest at Echo, and we had previously been talking, and I won the contest, and I was like 14 or 15 against all these older, I guess, like big names on the Colorado scene at the time.
Yeah.
And so then Gags at the time, Mike Gagliardi, he because I was riding for Never Summer right then, and he hit me up and he's like, all right, I want you to start riding for 686. I'm going to give you one outfit or whatever. And then Randy got word of it somehow, and he's like, no, fuck that. You and I have been talking. You're riding for Volcom. And Randy kind of took me under his wing doing that and put me on Volcom in 32. And I think he might have done something else at the time too. But yeah, and then what happened is his showroom was only like a mile away from my house. And since I didn't have a father growing up or anything. So my mom, you know, when I was being a little shithead or getting in trouble at school, she'd actually be like, you know what, you're going to talk to Randy.
Really? He was your stepping dad?
Yeah, she'd drop me off, and he'd fucking, he'd be like, you're not doing this and this until you do that, like, I want you to get me 8 photos of you snowboarding. So that's what really helped push me in the direction of I don't know what to say.
Just towards being basically like responsible with being a sponsored athlete.
Exactly.
To get results.
It kind of made me hone in on, those skills of, okay, I have to get a photo every day. I need to be hitting street spots,
Yeah.
So
it sounds like it was more about the mentorship that Randy provided than like some kind of like, oh, I'm going to play 686 off Volcom or something like that. You weren't like, pinning the two potential sponsors against each other. It was more the value added that Randy brought to the equation.
Yes, exactly. And I've always been super loyal. Like those brands that I ended up riding for were the brands that I drew the logos on all my school shit. Those are always the brands I wanted to ride for growing up.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just funny how that plays out, that I have rode for every big sponsor that I've wanted to ride for.
Really?
Even, Bear Mountain. I remember before I'd gone there, like seeing it in the magazines, and, I was obsessed with it.
Yeah.
And then I went there for the first time, I think when I was 16, and then a few years later ended up riding for him for a while.
Nice.
Yeah.
So then you started getting paid at the age of 19, correct?
Yeah.
Like with a paycheck. Was it enough to like pay all your bills so you didn't have to worry about a job, or was it kind of like supplementing your income so you could more easily survive?
Yeah, I don't think I had a lot of bills at that time.
Yeah.
Just like, rent. And I remember my first check. I was so hyped, and I went out here in Breckenridge, blacked the fuck out, and spent
all of it.
Probably, almost half of it. And was
really?
Like, oh God. Because it was the first time I'd had a check that was, it was actually a substantial amount of money.
Right.
So it was the first time I'd had money. Went out to the bars, 19, woke up, broke.
Yeah. Well, I think that happens to people when they get their first check. It would be pretty funny if they actually gave you like one of those big checks they have at contests.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, your first paycheck, and it's like a foot tall and 3 feet wide. You got to bring it to the bank. That'd be a pretty cool way to kick off someone's like pro career, right?
Yeah.
and
I'll have to remember that if I ever stay in the industry.
Okay, yeah. So you became pro, and what kind of stuff were you doing to be in front of the media, or to get your name out there in front of kind of the world of snowboarders?
I was keeping it real, basically. I was just going on rail trips, and I was living here in Breckenridge, and that's when I was smoking a ton of weed. Fuck, I could probably barely even remember what I was doing then.
Really?
But
so have you cleaned up your act some since then?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely
do you take? Is it because of the responsibility that you have for your sponsors, or is it because you don't want to make the same mistakes again that you've made in the past, or things you've identified as mistakes, or what makes you more responsible now?
I think it's just the whole, growing up, getting old, you get fucking overdoing what you were doing. And me, since I never got to go to college or anything, so I've been trying to study a lot lately on my own, reading books and taking notes and writing down definitions of shit I don't know, Mm-hmm. There's always a way to get more educated.
Sure.
Some people you have to go out and do it yourself.
Yeah. Okay. So what kinds of stuff do you study now? Like, what are you learning about?
Anything. I like reading a lot of I guess you'd call them self-help books or whatever.
Yeah.
Just like kind of to get motivated. Like just reading basically anything. Yeah. Working my way through the Harry Potter series right now.
Okay. Who's your if you were to be anyone in a Harry Potter book, which character would you be, and why?
Hermione, so I could look at myself naked.
What, you can't look at yourself naked?
No, but I'm not a chick.
Oh, okay.
No, fuck, I don't know. I guess everyone would want to be Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Actually, on my helmet, I have a fucking Harry Potter lightning bolt sticker.
Do you really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so...
But it turns out it didn't work the other night.
So are you changing your image from a wild child to a magic nerd?
I might be. It's funny. I'm super into Star Wars. I have this whole Star Wars skateboard collection in my house. I think I'm I can't remember how many they told me. One of like 3 people in the whole country who has every single skateboard.
Really?
That Santa Cruz made, yeah. And girls will walk into my house and be like, "Oh, who's the fucking nerd?" I'm like, me, and you can fucking leave.
Okay, so same question then for Star Wars. If you were to be any character in a Star Wars movie, which one would it be and why?
Maybe Chewbacca?
And why?
So I could do this all day?
Okay.
I don't know. He's like a big hairy dog, you know?
Yeah.
He's a badass.
Yeah.
He's a big brute.
He is. Yeah, it's funny because like some people would say like, you know, I don't know, Luke Skywalker or Han Solo or whatever. They want to be the hero.
Yeah.
They want to be like the top guy. And me, it's like, I want to be Jabba the Hutt. Just sit around and look at chicks.
Yeah. Put Leia in the slave gear. Yeah.
You know? Okay. So beyond Star Wars, beyond Harry Potter, what kinds of like, you know, there's going to be a time maybe with snowboarding. Do you make enough money where you're going to like retire from snowboarding? Like when you retire, you're going to be like, boom, I'm buying a house on the beach and just chill.
No, I don't think so. I bought my house though.
You do own a house.
Yeah, I own my house. That was a good move. My mom was like
paying for it though. Payments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have roommates in there.
Cool.
Whatever. They're paying it off basically. But yeah, that was a good move in my career. I was making way more money back in the day. And this is something I would love to talk about right now.
Let's talk about it right now. Let's clear the air right now. Let's do it.
Fuck all these fools taking advantage of little kids.
Okay,
the
real
industry
talk right
has,
now.
Yes, the industry has changed fully. Back in the day, I was making so much money, you know, over $100,000 a year, fucking partying, like get picked up in limos and shit, you know, like it was crazy different. And now it's to the point where not many riders are making over 6 figures a year. A lot of riders are doing it for free and like just for the claim to fame, like, oh, I'm sponsored. No, fuck that shit. I have people messaging me on Instagram like, hey, we'd love to send you our product if you give us a shout out. It's like, fuck you, fool. I'm not fucking 12 years old anymore. I got a fucking mortgage. I got shit to do. I got to pay this. Yeah. And now all the kids coming up under me, the next generation, they don't know their worth. They don't know what it is, you know, to get paid. So companies are dropping and cutting paychecks, you know? Like they're cutting the pay in half, dropping people because these fucking little dildos don't know their own worth and they're willing to ride for
and they still have the
$1,000 a month or less.
Are paying the bills.
Yes,
still.
Exactly. And that's another unique situation about me. You know, a lot of snowboarders come from money and they have parents who help them and motivate them. And me, I never had that. So,
do you think that was like the key for your success was like not having the money, not having that fallback plan where you're like, I'm going for it, but I'm going all the way because I have to?
Yeah, I think about that somewhat. You know, when I came up here and dropped out, it's kind of like I had that intention of being pro, but truly I think I was kind of miserable at that time and I really didn't care. I came up here and started partying and it was just kind of like, fuck life, whatever happens, happens. Okay. So I think I said I wanted to be pro, but I really don't think I tried as hard as I should have. But the motivation that I had and the keys that fell into place, it just happened.
Okay, so was it luck or was it just drive and determination?
No, driving. Yeah, fuck, luck's not real.
Yeah, well, there's bad luck. You can get like a flat tire on the side of the highway or something. That's bad luck.
Yeah,
right. But
and
like
if you know
good
how
luck,
to change it,
like,
you know how to change it.
Yeah. But like good luck is like it's like the harder I work, the luckier I become.
Exactly.
You know,
luck is just motivation and drive, and I think I have had that, and I think I haven't even use my full potential of, you know, my drive and my motivation. Had I worked harder at different parts in my life, I could have done a lot of things different. I was always offered energy drink sponsors and shit, but I'd never endorse anything I don't truly believe in.
Right.
Like, that shit's gnarly. It's bad for you. It's not good. I'll drink it with tequila sometimes, but that's about it.
Recipe for a blackout.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that was always that. And I remember one time when we were filming this Transworld Team Shootout for Volcom, and I was like 19 or 20, and this is when I was really, really good at jumping as well. Like I was landing double corks first try, double backflips, blah blah blah, and this photographer, Frode Sandbeck, his younger brother, Stale. Yeah. And he was just kind of like, you have the most natural talent I've ever seen in my life. Why don't you compete in slopestyle? I go, fuck that shit. I'd rather be in the streets getting high with my friends. And he freaked the fuck out on me. He was like, don't you ever talk like that again. Like, you have so much talent and you could really be using it. Your potential's high up there. I don't ever want to hear those words out of your mouth again. Really? And I kind of realized, I fucking sounded like a little dick bag right there. But
that's pretty good mentorship, like coming from a stranger.
Yeah. And I should have taken his advice more seriously.
Right. So instead, you like walked up to Stale and be like, "Hey, your older brother thinks I'm more talented than you."
Yeah.
And walked away.
Stale, if you're listening.
Happy holidays, guys. Just want to give a shout out to everybody that has supported us up to this point. We are 50 plus episodes into this project, and it has been a great experiment in snowboarding and snowboarding media, and it has been fun. It has been a great time, hasn't it, Mark?
Yeah, I've had a lot of fun doing the interviews, doing our weekly Real Talk episodes. It has been also a learning experience. It's not only been fun, but it's also been a learning experience.
It's been a huge learning experience for myself as well, just learning about snowboarding, learning just about the industry that I'm directly a part of in an unfiltered kind of way, I guess.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So who are some of the people that have been helping us out thus far?
Okay, so we have guys like Jeff Lavin, Kyle Clancy, Trevor Graves, Kyle Phillips, Jay Quinn's one of our supporters. We have all sorts of people supporting us right now at the Snowboard Project, and so they go to patreon.com/the Snowboard Project, donate $2, $5, $10 or more a month, and just help this independent voice in snowboarding media survive.
So if you're interested in supporting us, and if you're interested in buying us a beer, buying us a couple beers, or really just helping us out, please go to patreon.com/the Snowboard Project and help us keep bringing you an independent voice in snowboarding media.
He just won today,
He did?
Yeah,
nice.
He won the slopestyle today.
Sick. Congrats to him.
He's got some skills too,
See, I could have been winning
for that.
I could have been winning slopestyle.
You could have won slopestyle today.
Now
you could have kicked his
I'm
ass.
fucking sitting down here doing street style.
Yeah.
Not winning.
Wow. That was kind of a weird contest, that street style contest here. I thought the obstacles were a little small, on the smallish side anyway, less challenging side.
It was nice because there was no stress.
Right.
Yeah, I wasn't worried about getting hurt or anything. So that's why that was nice.
Yeah. Okay. So, but do you do like a lot of rail contests? I think you were just over at the Rocka Rail in The Hague where they try war crime things.
Yeah, I was out there.
How'd you do at that thing?
Not good at all. It was a really gnarly setup and it was raining.
Yeah.
And I hadn't snowboarded. So I've had this hip problem for like 5 years, and I got some injections in it and had to like rehab it. So I couldn't snowboard for, it was like over 2 weeks. And then right after that, second day back, I fucking tweaked my knee because I've had knee problems too, and couldn't ride for another 2 weeks after that. And so I hadn't snowboarded in like over a month. Got out there, rode in the dome for like one of those shitty snow domes, you know?
Yeah, I've seen that.
And those things are really gnarly.
What makes it gnarly?
Full ice. It's really cold in there.
Okay.
So icy, I could barely hold an edge onto it. So if you ever see edits from, kids in the dome, have respect for that. That is a whole nother animal. But yeah, so I hadn't snowboarded in like over a month, and then just the rain and everything. But
okay. So how do you get like into that like proper like mental space to like compete? You flew to Europe, you're on a weird time zone, and then it's like, okay, the big Red Bull event's happening now, and it's your turn, Dylan. Drop in. Like, how do you like get your head to like squared away to do that after not riding for a month?
I don't know. It's just so natural at this point.
Yeah,
it's just whatever. But it is something you think about, and you like want to focus on. I don't know. Everyone has their little tricks and things they do. Like for me, snowboarding, I wear the same shirts every day for the entire year. So first day of the year,
how many shirts? One shirt?
I do a long sleeve with a short sleeve over it, and then a hoodie, and I wear that every day for the entire year. It's kind of like my
So what would happen if someone like stole your T-shirt, your stinky ass year-old T-shirt?
I don't know. I'd probably be fine, but
yeah,
it's just like an old tradition luck thing I have. And it's funny for contests, every time I've won or placed, I've been hungover as shit or still drunk or under the influence of something.
That doesn't sound like a very practical strategy.
It's not, because then sometimes, I'll be like, I gotta stay sober tonight or whatever.
I bet every time you've got hurt, it's been under similar circumstances too, hungover or on something or whatever. So, is the glass half full or half empty?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
It's probably fully empty because I'm drinking the glass.
Okay. Then you're smashing it on the floor.
But yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I don't know. That's when I figured out that I'd won every contest being hungover or whatever, it kind of gave me the excuse like, oh, I need to go party tonight.
Right.
Or else I'm not going to ride well tomorrow. And one time I tried to, at Hot Dogs at Handrails, actually that was the one contest I'd never placed in. Yep. I got arrested there one year when I was fucking like 19, smoking weed in the parking lot.
Okay.
But that was always the big dog for me, which is cool that I got second this year. So I was really hyped on that.
That was pretty incredible. Aside from your side bet, I think that was pretty much like a win. Well, the side bet made it a loss, maybe.
Yeah.
Did you follow through on that? Why don't you tell people the story behind that?
The side bet?
Yeah, the side bet, and then getting second place and how stoked you were, but then realizing there was also a side bet in play.
Okay. Well, first, I'm going to tell you the story about 2 years ago there.
Okay.
So I'm with Jagr Bailey. He's one of my best friends in the world. We're, ride really well together, party, whatever. So the night before the contest, he goes out to party. And I'm like, no, fuck that. I'm super focused. I'm going to fucking win this thing. I'm staying in.
Okay.
So I stay in the fucking condo or whatever. It's like 11 o'clock. I'm like, all right, I'm going to go have a cigarette before bed. Open the door. And there's a fucking drunk blonde chick laying in front of my door. Okay. I was like, hallelujah. Like, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
Anyways, she comes in. We end up drinking a whole bottle of tequila, staying up till 5 a.m.
Oh.
And that's kind of when I realized you can't hide from the universe. I am who I am. And, the universe delivered to me what I should have been doing all night. Girls and liquor.
Okay. Okay. I can't really argue with that.
And then, it was funny because all of them are like, you wanted to stay in and be sober, and you ended up sending it harder than all of us all night long. So
right.
You can't hide from who you are or what you want to do.
Yeah.
I guess.
But sometimes maybe you had some good memories anyway from that night.
Goddamn right.
Okay.
And then so last year, Jagr is one of the best snowboarders ever to live. I will argue that all day, any day with anyone. He can do every rail trick, double corks. He can do shit in tranny. Yes, he is one of the best snowboarders who hasn't, a lot of his sponsors mistreated him, and now he's not snowboarding professionally anymore. But
really?
So when Hot Dogs was coming up this year, I was like, dude, let's go. You got to come with me, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, no, fuck that shit. I don't want to snowboard anymore. And it was kind of like a Ricky Bobby situation. I was like, no, I'm fucking winning this shit this year. And I need to be beaten by the best,
Yeah. It doesn't count unless he beats you.
Unless you're there. And, so he, we fucking had a butt chug bet on the contest.
Right.
So it was whoever loses to whoever has to butt chug. And there was no way in hell we thought we'd both place. You know, we thought maybe one of us would place or whatever. And so, yeah, word got out that we had the butt chug bet, and this girl who works there knew
That's
about
like paying off the judges.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Well, it's funny because the year before I judged because I was hurt, so I wasn't able to compete. And I was like, fucking Jagr won, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, none of the other judges really are contest riders. It was Joe Sexton, Chris Bradshaw, and this kid, Cody Williams, who he had a really, really bad head injury.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, so he couldn't ride either. And I was like, fuck all you guys. I'm the only contest rider here. I know what it is to be fucked. I know what it takes to fucking win. Jagr, like the one kid they wanted to win, did a few better tricks, but he didn't land as many. And Jagr landed every single fucking thing he did. Right. So I was like, Jagr fucking won. Fuck you guys, blah, blah, blah. And they were actually like all scared, like, fuck, I think Dylan's actually like mad at us.
Right.
And they're like, yeah, but you want Jagr to win because he's your best friend, blah, blah, blah. And I was
it's like these brass knuckles say he's winning.
So he didn't win. And then it was funny when he won this year, it was kind of like karma, you know, like, oh, you wanted him to win so bad last year, you know, and now you have to fucking drink a beer out of your butt.
Right.
But yeah, it was funny when I got on stage, the girl goes, you're going to be so bummed. And I was like, what? No.
So they knew what you were in for.
Yeah. And then we got back to the condo and we had a bunch of beer. There's like 30 people there and everyone's like, you got to do it. You got to do it right now. And we
had to do it in front of everybody?
Yeah, and all the girls came in, and I was like, no, you girls don't need none of this. Like, girls, get out. So I butt chugged in front of like 8 people.
Oh,
I couldn't get all of it down, though. Maybe a quarter of the beer.
I wouldn't know what I don't even understand it, really.
Yeah.
I'd actually never heard about it before we talked about it right during Hot Dogs and Handrails, and I was kind of like, man, this dude he's just going to carpe the diem no matter what, pretty much.
It's one of those things.
Even if it means doing something that you would never think that anyone would do. I didn't even know what it was.
Yeah, you're like, is it myth or is it magic? Like, you know, is this real? If it is an urban legend, I'm gonna make it real.
Okay, so does that make you half gay?
No.
Okay, just checking.
You know.
Okay, so did you have a side bet here at this Dew Tour Rail Jam?
No, because Jagr was too sissy to come out.
Oh.
You hear that, sissy boy?
Oh, being called out.
I don't know who I'd side bet with here.
Yeah, it's got to be one of your real homies, one of your tight homies.
Yeah, I got some real homies who are in the contest, but I don't think anyone would want to get down and dirty like that, you know?
Right. Well, it doesn't have to be butt chugs every time. You can do other things. Put a cigarette out on your arm. Who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, there's other things you could do to test.
Chug a cup of mayonnaise.
Yeah, sure.
I fucking hate mayonnaise more than anything in the world.
Yeah, Bridges used to drink like a bottle of maple syrup if he wanted to fuck with people. He'd drink a whole bottle of maple syrup down.
Wow.
Yeah, it's gnarly. I would get like a gag reflex from watching him slug a bottle of maple syrup. So yeah, okay, but you consider yourself a contest rider though. You do a lot of contests, or now are you focused more on filming?
Yeah, just filming mostly. A lot of the contests aren't even around anymore.
Yeah,
which is sad. You know, X Games doesn't do the Rail Jam anymore. They used to do West Coast Invitational and Mammoth. That doesn't happen anymore. So the rail jams are far and few between.
What are the premier rail jams today that like you would like have on your, your calendar like 3-6 months beforehand?
I think Hot Dogs and Handrails.
Yeah, pretty much.
And that's always the same weekend as my birthday, so it's always fun to like we'll either drive out and hit Vegas for a few days before, or this time Jagr and I went to fucking Tijuana 2 days before the rail jam. That was rough.
What, the hangover was rough or the Tijuana was rough?
That whole fucking city. Fuck that place.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, huh?
It is crazy, and it is a shithole.
Did people did anyone try to roll you or anything?
Yeah, Jagr almost got arrested, and I had all of his shit.
Really?
Yeah, I had his wallet, his ID, his passport,
his
phone. He peed in an alley. He thought it'd be
cool. And it wasn't.
Yeah, he's like, oh, we're in
cool
Mexico. We can do anything we want. I'm like, no, it doesn't work like that. Yeah,
right. So it sounds like, you kind of live maybe like outside of conventional rules, let's say, of like working in a cubicle and having a car payment and whatever.
Yeah.
So what's kind of like one of the tightest situations you've ever been in and gotten out of?
Tightest situation. I don't know.
Every day?
Yeah, every day. Yeah, there's been a lot, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. That's a hard one to answer right off the top of my head.
Okay, how about just like a couple of sketchy situations you've gotten into?
Like, what are we talking about?
Well, I don't know. It could be anything, really. Just something where you were just like, oh, I didn't really realize there would be repercussions from this, or like it would go down like this.
Yeah, girlfriends.
Basically,
yeah.
Do you find that like
devils?
Do you find that like as you get better at snowboarding, you get worse at like dealing with girls, like they're in balance, like a seesaw or something?
No, definitely not. I get way better at dealing with girls.
Okay.
I realized that you have to manipulate them the way they try to manipulate you.
Okay, so now it's time for you to give me some advice on girls. Yeah. What do I need to do to get the right girl?
I think. I don't know, because I haven't found the right girl. So
okay, well, it doesn't need to be what do I need to do to get the next girl?
I think it's once you have the girl,
right? You
have to fucking play the cards. They don't think they. I feel like girls always try to get you pissed off and mad.
Right?
And that's when dumb shit happens.
Right.
And I think you have to play it against them.
Right. So you have
to almost act, like a female, and be like, oh, you really hurt my feelings when you did that. And they're like, oh, he has feelings?
Right. You got to put them on their heels a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, because they'll have you on your heels if not, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well, I'm glad you didn't tell me to like write poetry and like
no, I don't
buy
know.
flowers.
Maybe, yeah, a lot of my buddies don't do that for chicks.
Yeah,
I'll do that once in a while.
Yeah, write a poem.
Yeah, throw it on their door, in the middle of the night, wake up to some flowers and a nice little fucking poem.
Really? Okay, maybe I'll try that.
I have done that.
Really? And did it work?
Oh,
did it work though?
Actually, yes, it did.
Okay.
I did it, and here is the advice I'm going to give to you.
Okay, perfect.
We had a fucking. I just started seeing this girl, and we had a fucking election party.
Election
party.
Okay.
It's game day, bitch,
Okay, yeah.
Full Super Bowl style election party.
A couple months ago or whatever.
No, it was 2 years ago.
Okay. The presidential election.
Yes.
Okay.
The election.
Right.
Fucking game day.
Right.
Anyways, learned real quick never to do that ever. Right. So my girlfriend.
Your team lost.
Huh?
Did your team lose?
No, her team lost.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, I made liberal lasagna. Ooh. Which was an all vegetarian lasagna.
Well, and very then I thoughtful
made
of you.
Right wing chicken wings.
Right wing chicken wings, so you have a balance.
Yeah, I went to the store. I was like, hey, can I only get right wings, please?
Right. Trust me, someone will be by later to get left wings.
Anyways, I had her and all her friends over, and states would come up. Oh, they won this state, and the boys are yelling, yeah! And then, like, the other candidate would win the other state. They're all like, yeah! And then by the end of the night, all the girls were crying. Right. And I didn't talk to my girlfriend for a good few days.
Really? She cut you off.
She cut me off.
Yeah.
But I did. That was the night I fucking left, I had to go to the airport early the next day at like 5 a.m, and I stopped by on my way and, like, wrote some nice note and left some flowers on her windshield or something.
Okay.
And she was like,
"So
as pissed off at you as I am, and as sad as I woke up this morning, that really made my day." And so she sent me that text, but then didn't talk to me for another few days.
Oh, okay. So is the moral of the story like, be liberal or to do thoughtful things? To get chicks.
You never want to be liberal.
Oh man!
Probably gonna get in trouble for even mentioning that story, but
it's real talk.
A lot of the sponsors don't want you to mention anything about
religion, politics, any of that.
No religion,
right?
no politics.
Yeah. but you are kind of a I don't give a fuck kind of character in the world of snowboarding. Why do you think that like people are so concerned about their image and how they're perceived by other people, and yet you've kind of forged this path that's been very successful by, you know, from the outside looking in, kind of doing it your own way? And I would say like back in the day, more people were like that, and now today most people are like, oh, here's my image. I'm a hippie, but I'm a friendly hippie, you know, or whatever. I'm approachable hippie.
That's the best part. Yes, let's talk about that. I think it's fully due to social media. You're constantly being judged. You want everyone to like you. You want the most likes. Everyone knows what's going on with the entire world and everything like that.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of it has to do with that. But really, some of the worst people out there are people like, they'll ask me opinions on other snowboarders, you know. My friends will be like, oh, what's he like, you know? And it's like, he has this image and does that, blah, 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 you know? Like, oh, he's a fucking asshole, you know? And with me, you know, you get what you get. People already know that I have that fucking image, you know? I'm not trying to hide anything like that. I actually don't like having a positive image because I don't like people trying to gratify everything. Like, so I work with this charity in my snowboard. We donate money from every board sold to a
like
charity.
Gold Star Foundation, something like that?
Yeah.
Why don't we talk about that really quickly? Just explain what that is, because people wouldn't expect this from you.
No, they work with people's children and adults with special needs, and they just basically give them learning skills, everyday skills, teach them how to cook, everything, you know?
And then you come in out of left field and teach them how to butt chug?
Yes. No, I'll try to get that in the program next year.
Okay.
But yeah, and then Transworld did an interview on me, and everyone keeps being like, oh my God, that's so nice of you. I can't believe it. And I'm like, fuck this, you know? I don't do it because I want people to
oh, he's so sensitive. You're so sensitive, Dylan.
Like, I'm not doing it for I'm doing it because it needs to be fucking done, and people will sit on their asses and bitch about like how the government needs to do these things. No, get your ass out there and do something. Like every person should be doing things, and people say, oh, I don't have time or money for this, and yet you're out drinking all weekend, spending money at the bar, and everyone has time and money to help people. And it would almost be better if I never publicized this, because then I could actually get the satisfaction of knowing that I'm helping someone, instead of people being like, he's just doing that so his sponsors think he's cool or something like that. Exactly. And I hate that shit.
Yeah.
And that's just the funny thing with like social media too. And you know, people will spread their agendas, and there's a couple companies out there, or foundations that I'm really, really questioning.
Really? What? Like what? Let's talk about. Let's put it all on the table. What foundations do you question? Because I question foundations too.
Yeah.
So which ones do you question?
Well, first off, I think like the whole energy and like gas thing, you know, and people who are like, oh, you know, save the world through that shit. Yeah. And they don't even realize that, like all that shit is in every single thing. Like 73% of fucking
like petroleum like plastic
is used not for fucking energy. It's used in like basically
like packaging stuff. Plastic water bottles, whatever,
your snowboards, all that shit.
Right.
And we have people out there trying to like save the planet and like push their narrative or their motive one way. Right. But really that's not even what needs to happen. First off, because the big companies, you know, like that, like Exxon and all that shit. First off, they buy so much land in the fucking rainforest just to have trees, because trees clean fucking carbons in the air. Yeah. So first off, they're saving the planet more than anyone else. And secondly, they're also doing the most research into how we can have clean energy. Right. So it's kind of a fucking...
But they also have an agenda, which is always sell more oil,
exactly.
Basically.
So it's kind of a catch-22 in that sense, where they're our best hope at finding clean energy, but they're also polluting. And we do need to find like a better way for energy. And I think there's companies out there that are, you know, asking people to donate, and then they're flying people around on fucking private jets and fucking probably... Like, what are they? I really think they're not putting their funds towards research on how to make cleaner energy. They're probably just, getting all these funds and pushing their fucking narrative.
There's a couple of things actually that I've come across recently that kind of like fit right into that greenwashing category, right?
Yeah.
And so the first one is like Tesla cars, right? And people are like, oh, I drive a Tesla, I'm so green. It's like, actually, you're going to have to drive that Tesla for 25 years to offset the lithium battery that thing has, because it actually takes a lot more energy and environmental destruction to mine lithium for the batteries than to actually make a regular gas car, right? And I was like, wait, that's just like, and you're sitting there patting yourself on the back being like, oh, I'm so sensitive for the environment.
Same with solar panels. You can't recycle that material. It's just trash after it's used up.
Yeah, another one is like Patagonia. It's like, they're like marketing and selling. They have a store here on Main Street in Breckenridge. It's like every t-shirt that has the Patagonia name across the front of it used 600 or 700 gallons of fresh water in Burma to make, right? And it's like, those people need water. Yeah. They don't need Patagonia t-shirts to be sold in a boutique in Breckenridge. Yeah. Right? And so it's like, I see that as kind of like greenwashing.
Yes.
And so
fabulous to have a conversation with somebody who is knowledgeable about this.
I mean, the thing is, it's like, I'm just not going to take it for granted. I'm not just going to like, oh, you're giving me 1% for the environment. It's delicious. I feel so good about myself now. It's like, I'd rather look at it for the reality, because I think that you have to like look at things from all angles and have a real perspective on it to actually make a difference, or to even attempt to make a difference. And you have to understand what the real things in play are, instead of just like, oh, this is what they told me, so I believe it.
Exactly. And in a sense, I'm a hypocrite. My job is to sell people shit they don't need. Right. I mean, well, for snowboarding, you need a snowboard. You need bindings. You need boots. Well,
do you need one every year, though?
No, you don't. And a lot of riders take advantage of that. They take way more boards than they need. They'll order so many shoes just to sell them to their friends, or like way too much clothing. And me, I fucking have 2 pairs of jeans. I rock the same shit every day.
So you're like more environmentally friendly than the person who's like super fashionable.
Exactly. And they're out there preaching all this other shit. Yeah. And I'm the little fucking shitbag, but I actually I don't know. I'm not going to take advantage of my companies because first off, they've given me the lifestyle that I want and are allowing me to do this. So I'm not going to take advantage of them. And also I'm not going to take advantage of the environment and use way more shit than I need to. I had 2 snowboards last year.
Right. Well, you ride for Never Summer. Those things are like indestructible. You went from like going through 10 Volcom boards a year to like, hey, Never Summer we're going to give you this much money, but we're only giving you 1 board and you're going to have to make it last.
No, I mean, they always try to pawn boards off me, and I'm like, I have one. I'm good.
Really?
Yeah. So I rode 2 snowboards all year last year, and one of them was, just the majority of the year. So.
Cool. So they are both your pro model, I take it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I only, back to endorsing, because they offered me, they're like, we can build the board you ride different than the ones we sell. And I'm like, because they can do whatever they want in the factory. Sure. I'm like, no, I don't want to endorse anything I'm not actually riding and liking.
Hey, Beeve.
Oh, what's up there, Sully?
I just wanted to tell you about editorial in advertising-free media.
We've been talking about this for a while.
Yeah, pretty much since the beginning of the Snowboard project.
Since the beginning of time. Yeah. It's kind of been the foundation of what we've been working off of, right?
Yeah, and so basically we've been trying to keep the advertising and the editorial separated at the Snowboard project.
Now, advertising as in like advertising sponsorship, right? We throw our little things in the mix.
Yeah, and so basically what we're looking for are our listeners to support us with $2 a month, $5 a month, $10 a month to support advertising-free snowboarding media. And what that means is that our voice will not be affected by brands, by advertising, and we'll just have an independent voice tell you exactly what we think.
Now, it is possible that we could take like some non-endemic academic sponsorship, or
Sure.
are we talking like in the snowboard realm?
Yeah, I mean, the idea is that we use the support of our listeners to basically fund the snowboard project and keep our voice independent and not really influenced by any kind of moneyed interest whatsoever.
So we basically need to rely on our listeners.
Yes.
To go to patreon.com/the snowboard project and be willing to buy us a beer.
Yeah.
Or 2 beers, or maybe a case of beer.
Yeah, that would be cool.
That would be awesome. Patreon.com/the
Snowboard Project. So let's go through this really quick, because I think this is a dream of a lot of riders, which is like, I want a pro model, right? So what was it like to get the pro model, and then how involved were you in actually the designing, the artwork, the side cut, the flex, all like, how does that come about, and then how do you actually make it? You know?
Yeah, everything. Well, first off, just Tim Canaday, who is the engineer at Never Summer.
Yep.
It's the 2 Canaday brothers, and Tim's like more the engineer. So that guy's a fucking genius. I don't even understand it. He builds the presses himself. Like
Right.
I think he goes to Home Depot and gets all the fucking things and builds them himself, which is insane. I can't.
He builds a lot of actually the machinery in that factory. He'll build other stuff too, you know, because it's like they don't actually make like profilers for cores, so they got to take an existing machine does something like that and then like hack it into making snowboard cores or whatever.
Yes, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And so I was basically like, I'm like a little fucking hobbit the way I'm built, you know? I'm only 5'7", but I have size 11 boots.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always been a problem of, you know, the shorter boards aren't wide enough for me.
Right.
So I was like, I want to make it a mid-wide, you know? So it's like, so that you don't have the option to buy it regular or wide. Just want it mid-wide. That way it'll also give it more surface area. So that the idea of the board was, you know, people can't afford to be buying multiple boards a year, you know?
Right.
Like, just the regular consumer can't afford to, I got a paddle board and I got a park board and I got a carve board, you know?
Sure.
So I was like, I want to make, you know, one board to rule them all.
Okay.
Back to the Hobbit shit. And so the idea was, you know, mid-wide, so it has good surface area. You could carve on it, good for powder. And then I just told Tim, you know, I want it super poppy, like snappy for good flex.
Yeah.
And then also to be able to press it well. So he made it soft in the middle and then snappy on the ends. And basically he told me, he's like, all right, yeah, I have 2 ideas in mind. I'm going to print you these 2 boards. You're going to test them and tell me which one you like. But he's like, I already know which one you're going to pick. Like, he literally would have nailed it first try, but he did press another one just to give
So you
me
went
the
through
option.
2 prototypes, so to make sure that you were on track.
Yeah, and the one that he knew I'd like, I fucking loved it. It was perfect right away.
Mm-hmm.
And and then they pressed them.
Cool. And then how did you come up with the graphics, or what was your involvement with that?
And then the graphics, I just really wanted it to be like in tune with me, and I wanted my good buddy Brian Henry, who's a tattoo artist. He's just an all-around good artist, but yeah, he did tattoos mainly.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, I'm gonna have my buddy do the graphic, and he just did this fucking insane oil painting.
Oil painting with oils, like literally like on a canvas, the whole deal.
Yeah, literally, like it was basically the dimensions of a snowboard too, you know. It was probably 2 feet wide and 6 feet tall.
Okay.
Almost huge oil painting.
Did you tell him what the theme was and what the details, what you wanted included in it, what color scheme?
Yeah, I was like kind of like wanted a Western and also like sci-fi theme. I'm really into all that shit. As you can tell, I'm a huge sci-fi nerd already. And wanted Western kind of to include Colorado and everything. And now, so he's doing the graphics again this year, and we're kind of keeping it on the same theme. And so kind of basically what we had planned is like, you know, hopefully we can do 5 years of this pro model or whatever. And then when you line them all up, it'll kind of tell a story like a comic book.
Okay.
But we're also going to try to change the art. Like this year, he didn't do an oil painting. I think he did it digitally, so it almost looks comic book style.
Okay.
So
it'll evolve over time, but the same characters or like a storyline that'll evolve over time.
Yep.
Do you change the shape every year, the flex every year? Do you tinker with the actual specs on the board every year? Or do you kind of like, okay, this is what I love?
Well, since this was the first year it's released, I kind of wanted to tinker with it a little bit from some of the feedback I got.
Uh-huh.
And I think they've got really good feedback from the consumers.
Mm-hmm.
So the consumers fucking love it, and they're like, "Yeah, I don't think we should mess with
They're
it
like,
at all." And I'm like,
"Do you want to make $10,000 in commission next year, or $100,000 in commission?"
Yeah, right. 100,000 would be nice.
Yeah. So, sorry, we just had Todd Franzen walk in. It's okay. Anyhow, we're in the middle of our interview right here, Todd. So welcome on board. Yeah, so we're talking about Dylan Alito's Pro model, and so you did tinker with it, or you didn't tinker with it?
No, I didn't tinker with it because a lot of the consumers really love it.
Okay, cool.
But we had some feedback on the blackboard test that I was kind of wanted to tinker it after I heard that from Pat Moore when he did the blackboard test.
Yeah,
and the thing is, Pat Moore is just a whole nother beast. He's not the average rider.
No.
I think to the average rider, they love it. I love it, so it works for me, But once I heard Pat Moore's feedback, nobody's fucking riding like Pat Moore, So
right. Do you think that there's like a disconnection from the average snowboarder you see here at Breckenridge and the people who are kind of influencing the sport as far as sponsored athletes, riders who are kind of the magazines and media and whatever? Do you think that they're having kind of a disproportionate effect? Because I look around Breckenridge and I see a lot of gapers.
Yeah.
Right? People who are like riding 4 days a year or whatever, and they're just on their big vacation. Well, and it doesn't seem like they're the ones like reading the mags or being influenced by that marketing.
No, definitely not. And that's the hard thing about it, because it's like, I want to push my snowboarding so hard, but at the end of the day, no one's even fucking watching it.
Right.
And people, what they like to see is more relatable to what they're doing. So you do like a fucking blunt 270 on a rail in the park, you'll probably get more views on Instagram and more likes than fucking front boarding a huge fucking double kink in the streets,
Yeah.
People can't relate to that. They don't know what it's like.
Right.
And that's the whole funny thing about the whole snowboard scene. Everyone's like so influenced by skateboarding and I want to keep it real and be like raw and and it's like our fans aren't because when you're skateboarding, you have to get gnarly and do those tricks. Most people who are up here, they're not doing tricks. They're not here to ride. And that's why Vail Resorts doesn't give a fuck about the park, because they're spending so much money on the park, and with how many passes are being bought to who are riding the park, there's no way they're even making half of it,
Yeah, they're like, parks. No, we want parking lots.
Yes, exactly. And so Vail Resorts doesn't give a shit about riders like me or anything. They're impossible to get tickets from. Me and many of my friends are also banned from the entire fucking corporation.
Are you banned?
Yeah.
At Vail Resorts?
Yeah.
Across the country?
Yep. And that was actually one of the mistakes I made when I came up here, when, I said I dropped out and I was 16. I fucking, I was just breaking signs, fighting skiers, fucking. I told them I was schizophrenic one time. They're like, "Why'd you break that sign?" I was like, "I forgot my pills." Ah! And they're like, "We're not sure we want you on the fucking resort at all. That sounds like a safety hazard."
Yeah. Okay. So you're banned from Vail Resorts. What other kind of establishments are you banned from?
There's a karaoke bar in Denver I'm banned from.
Okay.
I love karaoke, and I always kind of like Weird Al Yankovic style, make my own little remixes.
Yeah, you rewrite the words to a popular song.
Yeah, my most famous one is Party in the USA, Miley Cyrus. My version goes, "So I pull my pants down, fingers in my twat, rubbing my clit all day, dick in my hips, oh yeah, nut on my tits, oh yeah, it's a party in my pussy."
And that didn't go over well.
Yeah, because I usually pull my pants down when I sing it too.
Oh, you do? Okay. Okay. Now, I'm painting a picture in my head now.
The karaoke DJ tried to grab the microphone, and I fucking batted it out his hands and pushed him. And he's like, "Get the fuck out of here." With your
pants around your ankles?
Yeah. And then, so I didn't go back for like 3 years, and everyone's like, "Oh, there's no way they'll remember you."
Right.
Right when I walk in, "You out. Get the fuck out right now. Well, they still remember me. I see.
Okay.
Very memorable show.
Okay, it must have been. It must have been 3 years later. You
Yeah.
know? Yeah. Okay. So, but I can see that happening. I could see you getting banned for that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that's like I could visualize them
It's
remembering it too.
ban-worthy.
Actually.
Yeah. I deserved that one.
Yeah. Okay. So, like, what kind of advice do you have for kids who are coming up? I mean, obviously, you've already said stay in school, finish high school. What kind of
definitely
advice do you have for kids to deal with sponsors, to deal with the mountains, to deal with just balancing kind of like your drive towards snowboarding and then your drive towards everything else in life?
Take a fucking stand. Don't take shit from anyone, like how I'm saying all these sponsors there's fucking kids out there who are traveling and hurting themselves for basically no money at all. Like
Right.
free product. Fuck that. You need to know your worth. I've always said we need a fucking snowboarders union. I don't know how it would work, but yeah, no one should be riding for what they're fucking riding for. There's a lot of riders who are competing up at Dude Tour who probably don't even get paychecks.
You're absolutely right. I know there's some guys who like podium at Grand Prix who just get free boards.
Yeah.
Right.
And
It's
so
like they rely on like the winnings to pay for the next, to make it to the next event.
Yeah, which is bullshit.
Yeah.
And it's not only on the riders themselves, but it's the companies. That's pretty fucking insane that they could treat a human being like that.
Why do you think they do that? Why do you think they're
I don't know.
doing
And
that?
there's such a good, their fucking excuse. They've had it for years. Oh, budget's tight, money, blah, blah, blah. And, I think it happens a lot too when these companies get absorbed and they're not privately owned anymore. And, the higher ups, they keep fucking making cuts and they don't give a shit about the riders. They're just like, we need to cut down expenditures, to where when the company was being ran by snowboarders, they had a passion for it and they probably are making a shit ton of money they weren't used to making. So they're down to spend money and put it back into the industry.
Yeah.
And then they get absorbed by these other companies and they're like, no, cut budgets,
Right.
We need to pinch every fucking penny.
Right. It's interesting because people today are like, oh, snowboarding is dying or skiing is coming back and snowboarding is dying. And it's like, I don't know if it's really dying or if it's just like being mismarketed or they're not reinvesting in the longevity of the sport or what. Do you see that? Or do you think that snowboarding is as healthy as it's always been?
I think, yeah, I'm sure the industry is healthy because people are always going to do it. But like when we bring it back to that, it's, I don't, when it comes to like kids coming up and like watching it and, participating in it like that, I think maybe that is dying a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as these fucking Texans out here who are, oil money, fucking spending shit ton of money when they're on family vacation, that's never going to die.
Okay. So do you like that part of the sport or you just accept it as being the people who are buying and riding your board, or how do you deal with that?
Yeah. You got to accept it. You got to love it. You got to be thankful for, we have what we have. But I am actually thankful for like the true fans who watch my parts and, people who hit me up on Instagram and like send me a photo like, hey, I bought your snowboard, or like so excited about this, or people who ask me questions, because they're truly.
So are you approachable like that? Like your fans can actually like reach out to you and get in touch with you?
Yeah, it happens,
Cool.
And I love it. I think it's fucking awesome.
You ever had someone like make you feel super uncomfortable because they were fanning out on you too hard?
Yeah. Yeah, I hate that shit when people just want to talk only snowboarding with you.
Yeah.
Like when you're at the bar and stuff and then like, God, snowboarders are funny. I'm not a fucking snowboarder, truly. I'm just fucking good at it, I guess, and I have a passion for it. But I fucking hate it when, even hanging out with my friends and they're like, did you see like him do this or that and like blah blah blah, and it's like, yeah, I don't fucking care.
Right,
it's
there's
only
more
fun
to life
for me.
than that.
Yeah, it's only fun for me if I can fucking do it.
Right.
And in that sense, yeah, I don't care what you're fucking doing, what you did. I just want to do what I can do and push myself.
Right.
That's fun. I fucking get high off that shit, getting all scared and
Okay, so what kind of tricks are you working on for this season? You're saying about how you can do it, you push yourself into it. What kind of things are you thinking about to add to like your repertoire of tricks for your next video part?
I think I need to get more into jumping.
Really? You had a couple jumps in there, a couple doubles, a single and a double, a couple things in there.
Yeah. I truly, growing up, I was more of a jumper, and not a lot of people know that, because I think the rail game was like, it's kind of easier to break into, and also when it comes to jumping, it's hard to get friends who are down to like, hey, we have to go in the fucking backcountry and
spend a whole day
jump. And that's something too that snowboarders can't relate to, because if someone's in the backcountry, you know, no one's gonna spend their day riding POW building a fucking jump.
Yeah.
So I think the average snowboarder, they like seeing shit, and that's what I like seeing too, is more like natural pat down or like a quick little small cheese wedge. Like I've built jumps for fucking 2 days, right? You know, with fucking Breezy and Bjorn and shit. And
was it worth it?
Yeah, it was really fun. But it's fucking, no one's going to do that, you know?
Right.
And I think I could have got that feeling.
Maybe you're hanging out with the wrong people, because Bjorn and Breezy are doing that all the time. Spending days like, you know, just building jumps. I mean, really, it's like for every shot off a big backcountry booter, there's an investment of a few days to just get everything squared away where they can actually hit it.
Yeah. And a lot of my friends, you know, the shitbag weed smokers, you know, they don't want to spend the time or the money to do that stuff.
Right.
And like all my best friends I've made through snowboarding, like basically have not done it much either. Yeah. So it's, I'd love to ride more backcountry. It's just like I don't really have the friends who want to do it.
Do you know how to sled? Do you know how to ride sleds and have a sled?
Yeah. Oh, well, I actually had 2 sleds, and they didn't get used for a few years. Except when it would snow in Denver, we'd take them out around the town. I fucking put on my Santa Claus outfit, fucking rally those things to the bar, fucking put on my man thong, drove it down the street, waving at neighbors. So the only time it got used in the last 3 years was to go to the bar.
Okay.
Down in Denver.
Wow.
So and they were older sleds, so I sold both of them and my trailer for so cheap, $1,500. I basically had to pay, you know.
Yeah.
It was at that point where they were old sleds, nobody fucking wants them, and I was like, I just need them gone, I don't use them. And Never Summer has extra sleds, you know, and they're like, because when they took me out last year, they're like, we don't even want to take you on your sleds because they're so old. If they break down, we're fucked.
Yeah, it's true.
So I was like, all right, well, I can just use Never Summer sleds. And
yeah, no, those guys love motorsports, so you'll be set for life, basically.
Love that shit. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. So do you film mostly with Micah? Who's the film crew that you spend most time with these days?
Last year is split. It was pretty weird. My good friend Jagr, he's one of my best friends. He filmed most of my Transworld part, and he's actually a really good snowboarder as well. And so then he kind of got into filming. So he filmed most of my Transworld part, and then last year he was hired to film half of my part, and then I went on some trips with 32, like those guys, Johnny O'Connor and Jordan Smalls, I was with on a few trips, and Skylar filmed all of that shit. So it was basically them, and then actually Micah only filmed one shot, I think.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's your plan for this year for filming?
Still trying to figure it out.
Okay.
Heard there's some movies in the works. I might next year 32 is making a 25th anniversary movie.
Okay, so you're going to want a part in that.
Yeah, that's the big dog project that we're all waiting on. So this year I think we're just trying to figure it out, you know, nothing like super serious or gnarly. Maybe just throw a lot of clips on Instagram, or we're trying to figure it out. I might do some filming with Christian Hobush and Pat Fava. They're coming up on the 32 team, so yeah, maybe just travel with them, film a little bit, throw it on Instagram. I think it's like a real mellow year. Okay. So how do you feel about the fact that there's just so much like inundation of like free content online and like Instagram and then like free videos? I mean, it seems like I can't even get through watching all of the videos that are coming out like on a weekly basis. Yeah.
Like, how do you make a mark in that?
I don't know. You know, I was always super against it coming up because I was always super about, you know, making a video. You work so hard for it, premiering it, but that's not where the industry is anymore. Okay. So where it is now is, I kind of have to succumb to the fucking social media shit. That's just how it is. And people don't have the attention span. So I think really you don't even want a full minute-long video on Instagram. Like, I think you need to keep it to 1 or 2 clips.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you're doing it every day, and I've always had a terrible social media presence. I hate that shit. People are so absorbed in their phones and just like watching shit all day and just caring about what other people are doing. And then they send the Snapchats, you know, 10 seconds of, all right, everyone gather around and act like you're having fun. Yay! You know? And then you're at the bar and someone's like, oh, we have to go there. They're having so much fun. And then you arrive and you're like, oh, they're really not. They weren't doing anything spectacular that I wasn't doing. People are just so obsessed with what are they doing? Where are they? It looks so much better. But you know, when you're posting that shit, you're like, no, it's really not that much better.
So, like, where is social media going? Because it seems like it's really had a direct impact on magazines, on videos, on basically the entire marketing of snowboarding. Like, where does it go from here?
Magazines are fucking dying, right?
Yeah.
I think they're really struggling, and they're always trying to, you know, get money to do shit. And I love the magazines. I love everyone who works there. Those are all my good homies. And it's just hard because companies don't want to spend the money. They're like, why would we pay the magazine $5,000 when you can basically do it for free and do the same promoting?
Yeah. So where do you think, like, 5-10 years from now, like, that'll be? Like, just down to like 2-second clips. You know, we've gone from half-hour videos down to 1-minute clips, and now, you know, like 15-second clips. I mean, it just gets shorter and shorter attention span from here on in. Yeah,
who knows? I honestly think the pro snowboarder is dying.
Yeah.
I don't think in 10 years there will be a market for pro snowboarders. Not like it was when I was coming up. I think it's too easy for companies to take advantage of these kids that I was talking about.
Right.
And I truly, truly do think that it's going to be very hard to have a sustainable living off of snowboarding. And there's definitely going to be less. I think there's going to be more kids doing it, but there's going to be less people getting paid for it.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like the sport today doesn't really create the super pros. There aren't people like Jamie Lynn or Terrier who come out and they literally leave a mark for 20, 30 years. And it seems like, you know, do you think that's a function of the way that it's marketed, or do you think it's a function of that the tricks have gotten so gnarly that people can't stay healthy for long enough to make that kind of mark? Why is that?
I think, you know, it was action sports in a whole was a crazy fad in the 90s.
Yeah.
And you know what the fad is these days? Is being a fucking hipster. This is something I'd like to talk about as well.
Okay, let's talk about this.
Pro riders who will, rather than wear their, you know, their sponsors' gear, they go to the fucking thrift store and dress in fucking trendy hipster shit. And it's like, you have an obligation to these companies. First off, if you don't like the clothes they're making, you shouldn't even be fucking riding for them.
Right.
And you get these fucking guys like Jed Anderson who are like sponsored by outerwear companies, and then they're fucking riding in jeans and from fucking cat shirt or some shit. Who knows? You know, but it's like, you're just trying to be cool and like be hip, you know, and like have a fad. Like, fuck that. Respect your brands. Have some fucking passion for what you're doing, you know, like back what you're doing, you know?
Yeah.
So I think, that stuff is just fucking whatever. And that's having a huge hurt on the industry too, you know? Maybe if these people who are role models to people were wearing the gear they're going to wear, then companies would sell more clothes and stuff. But really, everyone just wants to fit into the trends and be cool. And so they're just, you know, wearing fucking...
Okay. So I want to be trendy. How can you help me become trendy in snowboarding? What do I need to do? What moves do I need to make to become a trendster, a hipster trendster?
I don't know.
Okay.
Because I'm not a hipster.
All I do is try to keep it real, and I guess that's why I wear rubber boots. So I am actually wearing rubber boots right now.
Yeah, they are actually pretty
cool. Oh yeah, they are. Hey folks, if you're tuning in to us still, please take a minute to go to Patreon.
Wait.
What?
Is there like some question that they wouldn't still be tuning in?
Well, if they're still listening, they can go to patreon.com/thesnowboardproject.
But you're still staying still.
Still.
Like, they
might
not
have
have
just
even
listened
made
to
it
the
this
first
far.
5 minutes. Yeah, they might not have made it this far. So.
Okay.
But I just want, if you're still listening, okay, if you're listening, go to patreon.com/the Snowboard Project, and we're going to count on you guys to support an independent voice in snowboarding media. It's how we're going to keep this thing advertising free and have a voice that is not affected by the advertisers. Okay, so let's go over a couple of things like the threes. I always do this with people just to get like paint a picture of like kind of like just around snowboarding and outside of snowboarding. So like 3 best resorts.
Fuck. I'm gonna have to say Bear Mountain, even though they discourteously fired me last year on Christmas Day. Fuckers.
What a Christmas present. The Ghost from Christmas Future
right?
came out. They're like, you're fired. There's no future here at Bear.
We need to have a call. I'm like, there's no way. No
Christmas
Grinch
Day?
is going to fire me on Christmas Day, And I'm like, we're cutting our whole team. And that was due to them being absorbed with the whole Icon Pass or whatever it is. Yeah.
It was probably Sean White made the call on that one.
Yeah, that's bullshit. If I would have... I really wanted to see him at Aaron Style and be like, listen here, buddy. You're the fucking reason, man. I mean, he owns, I think, 1% of the fucking mountain.
Yeah, they probably listen to what he says.
Crazy, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like he's a huge shareholder, and if he had any fucking respect for snowboarders, that would be his stipulation. Like, hey, no, we're not cutting the fucking team.
Right.
Because that's what I'd do, but clearly he has no self-respect or... no respect for the sport, I think, in total. Yeah. But yeah, I'm going to have to go with Bear and Mammoth and Copper. Those are my top 3. Cool.
Those are 3 good mountains.
Yeah.
How about like 3 like best like spots, like backcountry spots or anywhere to ride? Like streets, backcountry, anything.
Revelstoke was my favorite backcountry I've ever been to.
Okay, that's a good
mountain's
spot.
Awesome, yeah. Or like, I mean, that area is awesome. Cool little town, good food, all that shit. It's always good to go to Sweden.
Yeah.
Beautiful women. Oh, God, I love them. Yeah, Sweden's great for street snowboarding.
Okay.
Because it's not illegal to snowboard over there. People don't give a shit what you do, really. So you can
They're
hit
just like,
rails.
stomp it.
Yeah.
You can make a full pull,
like
hit it again.
Preschools, and little
Really?
kids are like watching you and playing with you.
That's pretty cool.
Out here, they'd be like, Amber Alert! Pervert on the scene! He's touching kids!
Yeah. Okay, 3rd spot. How about domestic street location?
Here in the States?
Yeah, sure.
We will. I love Colorado when we do get the slight chance of snow, but I think probably Minnesota.
Okay.
But I think Minnesota got played out so hard. Is such a big street scene there for a while.
Yeah.
And literally every fucking rail had been hit in the whole city. So
yeah,
it is hard to get there and get creative and do new tricks and find new spots.
Okay. How about your 3 favorite people to ride with on any given day in contest, whatever?
Easy. Jagr Bailey, Johnny Laz, Brandon Hobush.
Okay.
None of which are snowboarding professional anymore.
All right. Okay, 3 people you won't be caught dead with riding a ski lift.
Jed Anderson, Sean White. Actually, funny story. I met Sean White here at Keystone one time.
Yeah.
And I went up and talked to him and hung out. We got a photo. And he was kind of riding alone. I feel bad for the guy. I don't think he has any fucking friends. Anyways, so he's riding alone and he gets down to the bottom of the chairlift and he gives me like the head nod, like, hey, wait up. And I got nervous and scared because literally, like, as dildo as he is like a fucking rock star.
Yeah.
And
usually
I don't fan out on people or get nervous around anyone. But I freaked out and I got on the lift without him.
And he's like, that Dylan is such a dick. I thought he was cool. We're going to ride together.
I think he thought I cool guyed him, but really it was because I was too nervous.
Right.
So we're going to go Jed Anderson, Sean White, and God, it's hard. I don't really hate that many people.
Yeah, but at least 2. You can limit it to 2. That's okay.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Let's see. 3 best trips you've had for filming or for your career, let's say. Events, filming, whatever.
3 best trips. There's so many in Sweden that are so good. Like when I went there for my first rail jam, and then we went back, I think that same exact year, because we made so many friends at the rail jam, and they're like, come out, we'll put you up, give you a place to stay, fucking, yeah, so we had like a free place to stay. They let us borrow a car, I think. We had drop ramps, winches, spots. That was really cool. So yeah, probably those old Sweden trips. I think Revelstoke as well, because that was my first time being on a sled out there in the backcountry. And yeah, it was me, Bjorn, and Breezy, and we were there for like 2 weeks. Or I think we were there for like a week and a half. Drove back to Salt Lake for a week because they both have wives, so they want to see their wives.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. It's work time. Anyways, so we drove 20 hours back to fucking Salt Lake and then drove back up again. And we're there for another 2 weeks.
Okay.
But that was definitely one of the coolest. And then, we did a rail jam in Istanbul.
Really?
And that was really, really insane because, yeah, so we were snowboarding in Finland or something. Then I stayed 3 days on my own in Finland and just check out the city, which is something I love doing, and no snowboarders do it. They're always like, oh, we need one more shot. I'm like, dude, we have a fully free trip, like, to all these cool places in the world. We need to get cultured. We need to go out and meet people, you know? We don't need to get wasted every night, but go to the bar, talk to people, check out museums, check out the city. And no one ever wants to do that. So I think a lot of times on trips, I'll stay back by myself. Like when I was just at Rocket Rail, I stayed for a week alone.
Really?
Yeah. And just checked out the city, ate the space cakes, the truffles.
Really? And no tribunal action against you?
No. And then, yeah, and then we did the thing in Istanbul, and it was cool because they took us to all the crazy mosques and got to see all this crazy shit. It was just weird being there. And then I got crazy food poisoning, and I shit my pants on the bus. It was the one contest I've ever, sometimes riders agree on split the cash, you know?
Yeah.
And I'd never do that because I'm like, fuck you guys, I'll beat you any day, you know?
Right.
I'm not fucking giving up any of, you know, my, like, yeah, I want to work for it. I want to earn it. And I don't want to fucking just call it quits and split. But I got sick the day of that rail jam, and they're like, do you want to split the money? And I was like, fuck yeah, I do. And then, yeah, I shit my pants. I was like, they're like feeding us, and I was like, no more kebab. And they're like, we have food for you. It is kebab! And I was like, no. And then I tried to fart, and I shit my pants, and I had like overalls on at the time too. And I was like, hey man, drive the bus. I shit my pants. And they thought I was joking and like started laughing. Oh yes! And I'm like, no, I'm sitting in poopy pants.
Oh,
but that was fun.
Was that before or after the contest?
It was after it. So I had to sit there under the contest rail jam. They had like couches and TVs or whatever. So I'm laying on something, so miserable, sick, just wanted to be home. And they fucking love their techno out there. So they're just blasting fucking techno, like crazy loud too, uncomfortably loud even if I wasn't sick. And I'm just sitting there miserable, fucking diarrheaing all over these fucking porta potties and just listening to, my head was thumping techno.
Right.
Yeah.
It's quite a snowboard adventure.
Yeah.
Okay. How about like your 3 favorite snowboard movies?
Lame, probably. Back in Black and Stand and Deliver.
Ooh, old school. So when you were a kid coming up, those are the movies that kind of got you hooked.
Yeah. Also, State of Mind, Tech 9.
Yeah.
I watched that fucking on repeat. I think that's kind of what got me into street snowboarding.
Right. Yeah, I could see. I think a lot of people came through the Tech 9 world or got influenced by the Tech 9 world into the streets, basically.
Yeah, I rode for them for a couple of years, and it was funny. Cole Taylor, who owned it, you know, he was actually like shocked. Like I told him that. I was like, dude, you biggest influence. I fucking love that. And he's like, oh, really? Like what?
He's like, okay, here's a free set of bindings. Yeah. Yeah. And you're like, I need to get paid.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
And then they got sold to whatever.
Yeah, they got passed around a bunch, I think.
Yeah.
But okay, so how about 3 mainstream movies, like 3 like Hollywood type movies that you watch? You said you're a sci-fi nerd.
Yeah.
What are the 3 movies?
Well,
you can't pick one. Star Wars, bro. Trick question.
I know, exactly. I was going to say, that's a series, so that counts. I can say the entire Star Wars series.
Okay.
I can say
Jar Jar Binks included.
Yeah, I can say the entire fucking Jar Jar, but yeah. I can say the entire Harry Potter series.
Okay.
It's technically one long movie, 1 10-hour movie.
Right. Okay.
And then, third one. It's hard. I guess we're gonna have to comedy classic, maybe Dumb and Dumber.
Okay, that's a good one.
Yeah,
that's a good one. Yeah, it's filmed right here in Breckenridge.
It was actually. Yeah,
the beer flows like wine here too.
It does.
Yeah. Okay. So, how about your 3 favorite bands? Like, what kind of music are you listening to?
I listen to everything. My iPod's fucked. It's like it'll be like Katy Perry,
everything but techno.
Slayer will come on, and then like my iPod's all over the place. I'll hit a little techno.
Okay.
But just not as loud as they do it over in Istanbul.
Right. Right. Okay.
But music's all over the place. Kevin Gates is one of my favorite rappers. I met him before. He gave me a shout out at his concert in Denver. That was pretty fucking crazy. Yeah.
That's pretty cool though.
Yeah.
You also said that you like to read. What are your 3 favorite books or 3 books that influenced you either way?
That's a hard one.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like reading real stories, you know? I just read this story called Dry about this guy who's a gay alcoholic and had to go to rehab. That was pretty fucking cool. I mean, I related to that and the sense
gay or
of
the alcoholic part.
The alcoholic part, and also I guess him and I have also had something up our butts. Mine being a funnel, with beer in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I basically did gay and alcoholism in one straight shot.
Right, you just 2 birds, 1 stone. What do you got? Yeah.
Post Office. By Bukowski.
Bukowski's fantastic.
Yeah, I guess that's also similar. He just got drunk and fucked chicks.
He did, yes.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Bukowski, though, as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's solid. Number 3, I don't know.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, so let's wrap this up here. But like, first of all, I have 2 more questions. Like, so first of all, do you have any regrets? You now have like perspective on a career that started when you were like 16, actually 19, when you got like went pro. Any regrets from those years?
No, I think I could have worked a little harder at times, and I think I should have focused on doing slopestyle contests. I think I could have progressed a lot more. My own riding.
You could be an Olympian.
I could have been an Olympian. That's fuck. I've beaten Sage Katzenberg at a contest back in the day.
Yeah,
claim to fame right there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, had I gone on that path, it would have been a whole different path. But I think with who I am, I don't have really any regrets. I took the path I wanted. I did exactly what I want when I wanted. And yeah, I mean, I could have made more money or whatever, you know, or
save some of it.
Yeah, exactly. But truly with what I'm doing, I'm happy. And I think it's funny that I've sustained a career this long, you know. I've been being paid for 9 years. A lot of my friends, you know, are not being paid anymore and, you know, have regular jobs. And it's funny. I think I'm kind of past the point to where I'm in it for the long run. I've kind of sustained a name and, you know, I think I could go another 10 years easily.
Okay. So describe yourself to me. Last question. Describe yourself to me in 10 years or 20 years, if you want to go. Like, what are you going to be doing after snowboarding?
After snowboarding?
Yeah, like after you stop being a pro and being marketed as a influence on the youth.
So I went to real estate school this last summer. So that so during the summers I could sell houses. Mm-hmm. And it sucks because I literally finished the school and passed the test or whatever like right around beginning of September. So that was right when snowboarding was kicking off.
Right.
So it's funny, like passing, and then I have to wait until next summer to start to try to sell houses. But, you know, I'd like to do that a little bit. I also got into it because you know, like maybe it'd be cool to invest in real estate and just be selling your own houses or whatever. Not like actually being some cheesy turd agent in a fucking, you know, hey, you should buy this house, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I want to fucking write a book. I'm trying to right now. So.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I think
I'll look forward to that.
Yeah. I mean, fuck.
Sounds like some wild adventures so far. Cool. All right, on. Well, thank you very much for your time, Dylan. You are an amazing character and just a dope rider, if I can use that term. But I'm really impressed with your riding, and then just your personality actually maybe outshines your riding a little bit even. I don't know. They're kind of in balance. So.
Yeah.
So thank you for coming on the Snowboard Project. I appreciate your time.
Fun.
Yeah, cool.
Kind of made the hangover kind of just go away. I forgot I was miserable before I walked in here.
Okay, good. Right on. Well, thanks for joining us.
Cool.
All right.
On behalf of Mark Sullivan and the Beeve, thanks for listening to the Snowboard Project. Remember, ride fast, take chances, dream big, and take action. And for God's sake, don't be a... Don't forget to support advertising-free snowboarding media at patreon.com. The Snowboard Project. The Snowboard Project. The Snowboard Project.